Hello, this is Fear Dragon, and welcome to Breaking Out, the show about North American StarCraft II players. Here on this show, we spend 1 week highlighting an up-and-coming North American player. Throughout the week, we find out more about the player's history, their personality, and their playstyle over the course of 6 short episodes. On Monday, we'll interview the player and find out more about them. Tuesday through Thursday, we'll watch a game from each of the various matchups casted by your very own Fear Dragon. On Friday, we'll check out a generally awesome game with some sick play, and on Saturday, we'll kick it back with the player and have some wacky fun with some randomly selected events like handicap ladder matches, karaoke, and dance contests. Each episode aims to be about 20 to 30 minutes long, so you can learn more about the North American StarCraft II scene without interrupting your busy WCS schedule. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, welcome everyone to Breaking Out, the show about North American StarCraft II players that you need to know about. Today on the show, we're going to have a very awesome guest. It is going to be representing Team Core Gaming, the very young 17-year-old Terran player from America. It is going to be Core Gaming Sonic. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for having me on.
It's great to have you, and I have to say, man, it has been difficult to find like really good up-and-coming Terran players, and you definitely fit the bill for that, and I'm glad that you can actually make it on. But, you know, really quickly for anyone who's actually just tuning in for the first time, let's talk a little bit about the show. Breaking Out, again, is a show about North American StarCraft II players that are worth knowing about, and that I'm here to basically tell you about. So the format of the show is Monday, which is today. We're going to be doing an interview with the player. This is going to be ranging anywhere between like 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how wordy Sonic here decides to be. And then Tuesday through Thursday, we cover each one of the matchups by casting one of their games that they feel kind of represents their playstyle in the matchup. Friday is just going to be an awesome, fun game. I always love casting those games because I always get some pretty awesome awesome replays for that one. And Saturday, we just kind of kick it back, have some fun, do some karaoke, maybe do some dancing, maybe force Sonic over here to, I don't know, do origami paper planes while we have him balance bouncy balls on his head. I don't know. He's gonna have to find out, and he has no say in the matter. But yeah, then we'll also, of course, review the games of the week and kind of get a little bit more insight on what Sonic was thinking during those games. So it's also a very educational day over there on Saturday, despite being the fun day. But you know, with all of that being out of the way, welcome again to Breaking Out. And Sonic, let's just get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself. If you had to kind of sum yourself up really in a short paragraph, how would it go?
I'm I guess, semi-professional StarCraft II player. That's all. I like achievements. I can't recall any like big achievements.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm gonna step in over here because you're selling yourself short, man. I mean, you've beaten amazing players like the infamous Show, who, by the way, went insanely far at DreamHack Valencia in this past year, I think in 2013. I mean, you've beaten players like Tefl, you've beaten players like Sasquatch. I mean, you've beaten Korean Terran players like I think it was Revenge or another player. I mean, but you've definitely done some stuff. So I just want to put that out there for the audience. This guy is pretty good. But sorry, go ahead.
Well, I guess like right now I'm at like I consider myself like a top NA player, even though like I haven't had any achievements. But like I just measure myself ladder wise, I guess. But that doesn't mean everything, of course.
Yeah.
And
Okay, that's fair. And I mean, what do you do? Are you a student? Are you working full time at the age of 17, or what's going on?
I'm supposed to have college right now, but I took a quarter off because I wasn't actually planning on going to college. I wanted to go pro for a year, but then I've realized that it's looking pretty grim. So next quarter, I'm gonna go back to college.
Okay, wow. Do you know what you're gonna go into majoring or anything?
Not 100% sure yet.
It's pretty
Probably,
early, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't actually decide that till much later on, so that's fair. So what kind of got you started in esports? Is StarCraft II your first esport game, or did you get started with Command and Conquer or something?
No, I play Warcraft 3 without even knowing there was a competitive scene. I found out later, right? And that's
Yeah.
I've been following Warcraft 3 since I don't know, I've played it for about 3 years, and I've been like following the pro scene for like 2 years. So mostly
Hmm.
Chinese tournaments, and
Hmm.
well, lots of players from all over the world goes to China for Warcraft 3, and they compete in those tournaments. So yeah, I pretty much know a lot of the players.
Hmm. Yeah, that's actually really cool. Were you actually born in the United States or were you born in China?
No, I was born in China, and I moved here when I was 10.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
So I'm sure that you speak pretty fluent Chinese then.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm actually really curious. Are you in touch at all with any of the Chinese StarCraft players then?
No, I don't know 'em.
Well, at least you can speak with them. That's more
Yeah.
than most Americans. So that's cool though. And I'm also kind of curious. Does your family know about your involvement in esports at all?
Yes, but they don't know much about the game. They just know that I play this very competitively, and
Hmm.
I just spend a lot of time. Yeah. They don't even know the game, but they just
Hmm.
know I play the game a lot.
That's fair. And I mean, what do they think about it? Is more just kind of like you're doing your own thing on your computer, or are they supportive of it at all? Do you think they would be
Not at
supportive?
all.
No.
Not at all. I've tried to tell them about it. They're just like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna go further into it. I got
Yeah.
shot down that hard. It's like, all right, it's best to just leave it there.
So I want to go pro. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun conversation. But yeah, that's cool. And you know, kind of walk us through what your average day is like. An average day in the life of Sonic.
So, so pretty much I got nothing to do all day. So I'll wake up. Recently? You mean
Hmm.
like very recent?
Yeah, yeah.
Or well, I'll probably wake up, go on Team Liquid, probably look for some look for a stream to watch because that's just
Hmm.
usually how I start my day. I just want to find a stream. If there is like a really good streamer streaming, I'll watch it. Um, and then I don't know. I just spend too much time watching videos on YouTube and such. So not that much StarCraft 2 actually.
Hmm.
So
It's those damn cat videos, man. They're everywhere.
totally.
Okay, fair enough. And I'm sure that, like, of course, you'll become much more busy when you actually end up going back to school and everything. So
Yeah.
that does make sense. But let's kind of shift our focus to Core Gaming, which is your team. Core Gaming was formed. I mean, it's sort of a really recent team for the most part. I mean, guys got formed
Right.
earlier this year, and I mean, how has it been so far?
It's been well, the team, I don't know how long the team's been there, but
Hmm.
me and a lot of my other teammates joined in a few months ago, and
Hmm.
it's been pretty good so far. I really like it. I'm probably gonna stay with them for a while.
Hmm.
I've um I've sort of stepped down as like a main player. I guess I'm sort of just like a sub, I guess, right? Because
Hmm.
I pretty much said that um I probably won't be playing StarCraft 2 very much in the future. So yeah.
I see. Yeah, that's interesting. What exactly has Core Gaming been able to offer its players, such as yourself, though?
Um, some of us get salaries,
Hmm.
and it's just I guess just more. It's just a very friendly environment. A lot of us get on TeamSpeak quite often, and we just chat and talk
Hmm.
strategies and just I guess hang out.
Hmm. Yeah, so you get the kind of player connections. You get to talk with other like-minded, really top-level
Right.
players.
I think that's the best part of the team. Well, at least the part that I enjoy the most.
Yeah, and I'm sure. Do you actually? I know that you were saying you haven't gotten as much of a chance to really practice a lot lately, but I mean, have you been practicing for the
I
most part with other players on your team, or do you kind of mostly stick to the
uh
ladder?
I mostly stick to ladder
Hmm.
as do most of my teammates.
Hmm.
Um, like I've been pretty involved in every clan war that we have. even though I don't like it's like I haven't played in a week, guys, but I'll try to win this anyways. And yeah, that's I get on and we just have fun while we play Clan War. It's
Mhm.
yeah,
So I mean, that's so interesting because I mean, you get like pretty good results. I mean, even very recent results. I mean, even just dating back to like
yeah.
August and September, and even like a bit of
I thought you
October.
were gonna talk about the Zotac Cup that I played on Saturday, which I haven't
Oh man,
played StarCraft 2 in ever. I just got on like, oh, give it a shot, and I beat Tefo and
yeah.
a couple of other pretty good European GMs. I didn't expect that, and I got to the semifinals and I lost to Solar, a very good Korean Zerg, and I've heard he's quite young as well. So yeah, that he crushed me actually 2-0. It was just
Uh,
I wasn't even close. I felt pretty awful after. I was just like, oh my gosh, how did the games go that bad? And yeah, I didn't expect to get to the semifinals anyways, because those tournaments are usually stacked.
I mean, Hyun usually is taking like every single Zotac Cup and go for a C2
I
Cup.
remember like
Oh
every
man.
like upcoming Korean player, they've all like I remember Simbo and Hyun, they just played in all those Playham dailies. And I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
those guys must be like lower tier Korean players. That's just what I thought since I don't see them in GSL.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, like 2 months later, they win the GSL or just do like do so well in foreign tournaments. I'm like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I guess those guys are like top tier. So people who like those Korean players that win online cups, they tend to be really good. Definitely not low level Korean players if they're capable of winning
Mm-hmm.
online tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I still just find it so interesting that I mean, you say you don't actually play that much, you say you
Mhm.
watch a lot, but
Right.
I mean, you still
I,
get these like fantastic results. So I mean, what's
I
the
would
deal, man? Do you feel like you just have a play style that lends toward maybe strategic knowledge of the game, and just by watching it, you kind of
say,
you're indirectly improving your own gameplay, or I mean, what's going on?
I guess my play style to sum it up is just like very aggressive timing attacks. That's how I like to play the game. If I For example, if I open up Banshee and I do some damage,
Mm-hmm.
I will go for the kill, just follow up with a huge attack that overwhelms my opponent. If I feel like I have a lead and I have an army lead, I will try to overwhelm my opponent that way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably not the best way to play Terran, as Terran is sort of like you rally units.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a better defensive race. You rally units out, so it's not really fit for like a timing attack. It's
Mm-hmm.
more of a Protoss thing because the instant warping really neglects the aggressive and defensive advantages. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's fair.
I don't know if I just made sense or not, but there's
I
no
yeah.
time, right? There's no travel time,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
it's better suited.
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. We're already talking about it so much, so let's kind of just jump into the next topic, which is a little bit more about StarCraft 2 itself. Now, let's play a hypothetical situation, okay? I don't know if you play World of Warcraft or maybe you played a little bit of
Very
RPGs, Final
little,
Fantasy, huh?
very little of
Very
World of
little.
Warcraft.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. We're gonna play a role playing game right now, okay?
Okay.
So we're gonna be playing this in this new world, okay? Totally separate world, all right? And there's this guy that just happens to be named Dustin Browder, all right?
Okay.
So there's an NPC named Dustin Browder, and Dustin Browder is sitting there. He's actually the head of this company called Activision Blizzard, and he's walking along across the street. He's trying to cross the street, and a Hellion actually just comes by, runs him over, and chucks a. He's actually fine after that. Like he gets up, he's okay. But then a rock actually hits him from out of nowhere, and he actually just collapses. All right, so now Dustin
Okay.
Browder is no longer able to be in charge of Activision Blizzard. I don't know if you can tell, but this is all one giant metaphor for Activision Blizzard. So now they say we need a new head of Activision Blizzard. They find you. They say, you know what? This kid, he's about to start up school again, but he's really smart. He watches a lot of streams. We're going to put him in charge of StarCraft 2. All right. So, what kind of changes do you make to StarCraft 2 in terms of balance, in terms of WCS, whatever you want? What would you do?
Whatever I want.
Anything you want, man. You
I
can
would
make
probably
David
just
Kim wear a
change.
tuhebe.
I don't know. I never played Brood War, right? But from what I've heard, it's a lot more like little battles.
Hmm.
Like I would try to make the game like a bit more mechanically challenging somehow. I don't know how, but that's what I would aim for. And WCS, I don't know, but if I was like the CEO or something
Uh-huh.
for like I mean I want region locking, but that's me speaking as a player. That's
Hmm.
just what I want. Right? So that's probably what I would change if I had power to be Dustin Browder for a day and just go back to being a player. Right.
Yeah. You kind of mentioned region locking. That is a really hot button topic right now, especially. So, I
Right.
mean, tell me a little bit more about your thoughts on that. You said it was sort of more of a selfish kind of like, as a player, you would sort of want that, but do you feel
Um,
like it maybe would be better not to have region locking then if you aren't a player?
I guess what's bad about region locking is the quality of games would probably drop a little bit
Hmm.
since there won't be any Koreans, so the skill level. But like the thing is, I don't think it's gonna like lower the skill level of foreigners.
Hmm.
Like because a lot of people are losing motivation. So if they see there's if they don't see a chance, they just won't play. They just won't practice.
Hmm.
So that's what's happening right now. A lot of players just stops playing. They they don't see a chance of, getting into Premier League. So they just don't bother.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would probably get region locking just so people will be more motivated to play.
Yeah, and I do have to ask, like you mentioned earlier that you had planned on maybe going full time for a year, and you
Yep.
opted not to, and you've sort of been playing less and less. Like, I have to ask, is this related? Is this part of the reason why you're doing that?
Um, yeah, I guess. Because season one of WCS, I tried to qualify for Challenger, and I couldn't make it because there were just. I remember the first qualifier for season one. Was it Challenger? I think it was Premier.
Mhm.
Like they didn't have a Challenger League yet, but it was a season one
Oh, in
qualifier.
2012?
No, 2013,
Oh, okay.
where they didn't have region locking.
Hmm.
And I remember the first one, top 16 were all Koreans and Chinese players.
Yeah.
It was so stacked, and I just thought, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to win this? And then comes the Challenger qualifier, which I thought I could probably make it, and I didn't make it.
Hmm.
And then season two came, I didn't make it.
Oh man.
And at that point, I was just like, all right, this is probably yeah too much. Like the ideal, like the fantasy was finish school, I start playing, get recognition, get on a good team, go into a team house, and probably start winning tournaments. That
Hmm.
was the plan, right? That was my fantasy. How it all played out in my head, but that didn't happen. So
Hmm.
now I think it's probably like I'm not gonna stop playing. I'm never gonna stop playing, but yeah, that's not like I'm not gonna bank on being a pro gamer.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair. And I have to ask though, if region locking, because I know this is something that's very up in the air still, and actually, I'm gonna be entirely honest. This is actually being recorded right before BlizzCon, so there may very well be in a matter of days, an announcement about region locking potentially in WCS 2014. I'm not entirely sure. Would that change your mind on anything?
No, it's just like after like attempting to play full time, like
Hmm.
the stress and the pressure really gets to you, and I guess I'm just more afraid of failing than
Hmm.
uh than actually just like then this it's not about like WCS, it's just me like afraid of
Hmm.
going for it and then just failing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So even without the WCS, I don't think, yeah, I still go back to school.
hmm yeah, I think it's good to have that safety net. And honestly, I personally, as a person, would actually recommend you also go through school because I think it certainly gives you a really important safety net. I mean, you're still pretty young. There's always going to be the possibility to play. And hey, I mean, there's always the golden examples, right? Suppy, Polt, etc. of still
Right.
being successful while being in school. But yeah, that's totally fair. But let's kind of shift focus a little bit more toward the actual gameplay itself. So, How do you feel about the actual balance of the game right now? Do you feel like you?
Um,
I know you actually mentioned a little bit earlier during the
oh
pre-recording,
no, that
so
was
just a little bit of a joke about Protoss being overpowered. But I mean, what are your real thoughts about the game right now?
my real thoughts. I think the game is like overall pretty balanced right now. Um, I don't know, like each individual matchups, I'm not so sure. Like I don't know about
Hmm.
TVT. I think it's fine. TVZ, it favors Terran perhaps a bit more, and TVP, I think it's I don't know. It's hard to say. It's pretty even right now, except for the early game, um, which is pretty dangerous for Terran because lots of Protoss aggression can kill him quite easily. But overall, I think the game is pretty balanced right now. It wasn't like the end of Wings of
Hmm.
Liberty where Infestor was just so strong.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. And how do you feel like you kind of fit into all those matchups in terms of your strengths and weaknesses?
Um, I guess TVT's perhaps my best matchup because like in TVZ, I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with these timing attacks. Like I just want to kill them so quickly, even though I don't have to. Like I go for a lot of two base, three base aggression. Three base is like more standard, but a lot of like these two base like open up Banshee and follow up with a bunch more Raxes, just rally units across the map. Right. And TVP with photon overcharge, it's hard to be aggressive, but
Hmm.
there are many ways. If you don't get tricked somehow, like there are a lot of mind games in that matchup. And if
Yeah.
you don't get tricked, you're often like you end up pretty ahead, and you can totally do like a huge attack and overwhelm them most of
Hmm.
the time. Or you can just go, turtle ghost. Either way, I'm pretty comfortable with TVP, other than the early game, like I
Hmm.
said, because it's just so dangerous. Like Blink Stalkers, I'm afraid of Blink Stalkers. They come
uh,
at random times. It can be one base Blink Stalker, they could be expanding and then following up with Blink Stalkers. And it's the thing is you don't know how much they commit, right? You scan, you see a Twilight
hmm.
console with Chrono Boost on it, it's like, oh, that's Blink. And then, after the scan's over, they put down Templar Archives and they just like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Cancel.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's my only fear. But usually the games are all they go pretty smoothly. So I think yeah, I'm liking Terran right now. Yeah.
um.
Hopefully they give me some buffs. The tank buff that I've heard about.
Ooh, yeah. Did you
Cause I
actually talk about Terran versus Zerg?
yeah, a little bit. I think Widow Mines are really strong right now. Even though
Hmm.
I don't really like them. I just think they're just this really strange unit that can win you games at times, but sometimes it's just they're not too useful at times, right?
Hmm.
Right. I don't know. Like I hate having a bunch of Widow Mines on a map and they just get picked off by Melisk because you
Hmm.
stack them and you can easily kill Widow Mine
Yeah.
without them actually being able to fire. So I hope like I like Marine Tank. That's the thing. I always liked Marine Tank and I was fine with it.
Hmm.
And then Widow Mine came along. I was like at first I was like, oh my God, this unit is amazing. Thank you, Blizzard. And later I'm like, I wish tanks were better. I wish tanks were viable again.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, what kind of change would you like to see to tanks to make them maybe fit your style a little bit more?
I guess like I remember there was this one thread talking about how like you make them, it takes longer for them to siege up, and their attack speed it's
Hmm.
decreased, but their damage goes up a lot. So that really so you have to be a lot more careful with your tanks, and your opponent has to be really careful dealing with tanks as well. Like you can't just accidentally walk into a few tanks and then
Hmm.
walk away, losing like a few zealots. Like, oh, I lost three zealots. Oh well, you know.
uh, yeah, that's kind of interesting topics to talk about. And, it does sound like, as you kind of mentioned before, like you have a very aggressive style of playing. And, minus the fact that you hate being on the other side of the receiving end of, say, an aggressive Protoss player with Blink, which, I mean, makes sense, man. If you're trying to be aggressive, it's hard to be aggressive when you have to be defensive. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good description of how you feel your style is. So I have to ask, that's generally what I think of when I think of a Terran player. I think of a lot of aggression. I think of drops. I think of, Widow Mines, harassing, and all this other kind of stuff. So, what do you think? You kind of mentioned like you don't think that's the way a Terran player should play. So, how do you think they should be playing?
I think you should like I think Pote's style of play is
Mm-hmm.
probably the best. All he like I don't want to I don't want to like I guess take away credit
Mm-hmm.
from Pote, but his playstyle is really simple, right? You just make a bunch of units, you go for, you move out with your army, and all he does is just pick really cost-efficient fights. He tries to, and then he moves out with his second round. Like his TVZs and TVTs at least, it's just that simple. Like in TVT, he would move out with his Marine tank, and then back in space, he would just make up another army, and he would just try to be as cost efficient as he can with his first army, and then his second army comes out and then another army. It's just very simple macro play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has marines like scattered all around the map to see any counterattacks coming. It's just really safe, simple play, and his APM is like what, like 180, so it's my APM. It's not that high, but it's just such a smart way to play. That's how it's supposed to be played. You just slowly secure bases while you pick like smart fights.
Mm-hmm.
He's like when you watch Pote's TVZ, it's not like MVP Dream playing where MVP Dream does like 4 drops at once while doing an attack. It's just one attack at a time. He just slowly tries to pick cost efficient fights. That's what he's aiming for. He wants that resource loss to say like 10,000 for Pote and like 50,000 for his opponent.
Oh man, and I mean, Polt is a solid player, man. He get him to 3 base, picks like such good engagements all the time, no matter what somehow. And yeah, I definitely agree. Like it works out really, really well when you play a Terran like that. So I think that's a good point. Um, so yeah, I do have to ask though, if you feel like that's the way the Terran should be played, like that's the way to be really successful as a Terran player. Uh, I notice again, like there's not that many really good North American Terran players. So why do you feel that is?
Okay, so let's see who's actually quite good. There's Xenosatter comes to mind, QXC, right? Neeb, Drunken
Hmm.
Boy. That's 4 that I can think of. Am I missing anyone? I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's
For
pretty much most of
high
them.
level. Oh, Major. Okay, how can I
Oh
forget?
yeah, of course.
So there's like 5, and I guess Major is I guess the best out of all of them.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know why that is. Just there isn't really even like a really dominant NA player yet, other than
Hmm.
Scarlet. There, yeah, there isn't. So I guess I guess it's NA. That's what it is.
That's really interesting though, because I still feel like there's players like, I mean, obviously Huck comes to mind, Scarlet comes to mind, but have been other players for different races. Like Puck has really, really shown that he can kind of go a little bit more toe to
Puck?
toe with Puck, Puck.
Oh,
Um,
I don't know. I'm thinking like people who like won tournaments,
hmm.
like big
Yeah,
tournaments.
yeah, that's
So
fair.
Huck and Scarlet comes to mind, right?
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
there really isn't any Terran. I guess just there isn't.
Yeah, it's interesting that like, but even still, you think about like Europe. I mean, there are definitely like a decent, at least a decent number of really top level European players that are taking games off of Koreans and whatnot. And of course, don't even get me started about how many amazing Korean Terrans there are. But I always just found it kind of interesting that we don't see as many North American Terran players around. Do you
Yeah.
think it has to do with maybe mechanics not really being on the same level, or is it just like you need a lot of practice to be a really top level Terran player, or what?
Um, it's probably just like game understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just there aren't as many like NA Terran players who understands the game as well as Korean and European Terran players. Like you watch like I watch Happy play a lot, and he tends to play pretty long games, and he
Mm-hmm.
understands the game really well. And I guess I don't see any like North American players that really they just mimic other people's styles, right? They
Mm-hmm.
just watch like, oh, that guy did this, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to do it as well as him. And yeah, just I guess we're not as good as them.
Oh man, that's a rough thing to admit, but you know, I appreciate like the kind of honesty and the frankness with it. So I'm kind of curious, like for you yourself as a player, are there any kind of things that you're trying to work on with your own gameplay or at all to try and improve as a player and maybe make it to that higher top level?
Yeah, I've like every time I would think about the game or how I should play the game, it all like plays out so well in my head. But when I actually do it, like it starts to like deviate from what I what I planned. And yeah, that's probably what I'm trying to fix. I'm trying to play like a more solid style that I'm trying to be more comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not yet. So that's what I'm aiming for. I'm trying to play like this like perfect way of playing that I know how it should be played, but I just can't do it because I
Mm-hmm.
feel so uncomfortable with it. So that's what I'm trying to work on, just more solid macro play.
Mm-hmm. I think a wise man once said that there are two types of people in this world: those who can, I believe it was. Oh man, I'm forgetting the exact quote, but basically it was there's two kinds of people. There's those who can think of how to execute things really well, and those who can execute things really well. And rarely do you have both in one person. So it kind of makes sense, and it sounds like you can really you're have a good understanding of the game. You really know what to do, and you're just working on actually executing the idea. So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, best of luck to you in that, man. It's a hard thing to do, but you know, while you're practicing this execution, you kind of mentioned that you play mostly on the ladder, but do you have any kind of rivals that you see in the player base of tournaments? Maybe players that you come up against a lot, or I don't know, maybe just someone that you hate their guts for, whichever one, friendly or very less friendly,
No,
maybe.
I don't think I have any rivals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I haven't really hit anyone like constantly in tournaments, so no rivals. Speaking of people I hate, there are a few, but I'm not gonna name any names. Such.
All right, I'll let you get away with that one. Okay, but yeah, let's kind of move on to the next topic, which is a little bit more about your future. So we've already sort of talked about it a little bit, but where exactly are your interests in maybe ever going full time? If you had some sort of offer given to you, maybe saying, you know, after you graduate from school or something, would you potentially still consider going full time?
Uh, that's pretty unlikely unless, like the StarCraft scene just grows by a
Mm-hmm.
ton, and then maybe that would seem like a good idea, but probably not. Yeah, if if there is ever to be like an up and coming player, that's probably not me, unfortunately.
That's actually a really honest once again. And I have to ask then, like, where do you see yourself sort of in 2 years? You kind of said like you're still always going to be playing StarCraft. How heavy is your involvement going to be? Are you still going to be just kind of casually entering and like go for
Um,
SC2 cups and stuff or what?
when like right now we don't have a big NA tournament. Like MLG backed
Hmm.
out, right? They said no
Yeah.
StarCraft, so that really stings because I was looking pretty forward to the like I don't know which MLG that was, but it was like a few months ago.
Columbus?
Columbus, yeah.
Yes.
I was looking forward to that. I think I actually had plans like I was gonna actually be able to go, and
Oh
then
man.
Sundance tweeted no StarCraft. I was like no, right? Yeah. So if there is ever gonna be more like big lands like that, I will try to go.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm just gonna be playing casually. I'll still like be able to compete at a like average like North American level,
Hmm.
but probably not gonna be like tournament winning caliber. Like I'll try to make a name for myself. I'll try to get myself more known,
Hmm.
but uh, yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna try to participate in tournaments and get a reputation somehow.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, but you know, with that being said, I think that was kind of like the final question. So, you know, Sonic, I wish you the best of luck, and you know, maybe one day you'll change your mind, decide to go full time. But hey, if you don't, still wish you the best of luck. It'd be awesome to see you more in the scene. I think you're a fantastic Terran player. But do you have any shoutouts that you wanted to give?
Shout out to my team, Core Gaming, and all my teammates. Jon Snow, Edge, John Enrico, Space Marine, Code Scars. That's it. Thank you.
All right, cool. Well, guys, please go ahead and check out Core Gaming Sonic. I believe you also have a Twitter and a Twitch account, right, that you do streaming on?
Right. Twitch TV/AltSonic and Twitter core_Sonic.
Yeah, and links will be posted to those over in the chat, guys, so you can just go ahead and click on the links over the Twitch chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it should be just below the video. And yeah, you guys been watching Breaking Out. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please consider following me over here on twitch.tv/FearDragon64 for the live broadcast that happened at 8:30 p.m. Pacific. And you can also check out the YouTube VODs over on youtube.com/FearDragon64. But with that being said, we're pretty much going to close it up. Going to be looking forward to seeing the games that you actually submitted. It's starting with the TVZ starting over tomorrow. That's going to be a Tuesday. And should be a lot of fun, man. But thank you so much, Sonic. It's been lovely to have you on. And I hope to see you all tomorrow. Take care, guys.